What do I think about ZBCN as of right now, especially when I take a look at the price, even though nothing I say is financial advice? First of all, I'm totally aware that as of right now, the altcoin space isn't doing the best. ZBCN has had a pretty decent pullback, and now 10 cents is currently around a 30x from here. Totally aware of that. But the way you take a look at it is this. I oftentimes remind myself how I was feeling when I first started acquiring ZBCN, even though I'm not telling you anything, because I remember acquiring ZBCN at around that $60 million range. And then ZBCN, of course, had a pretty okay kind of rally, I would say. Then suddenly what happened? Had kind of a pullback. Did it feel good? Absolutely not. But then suddenly it went to a market cap of around 500 million. And keep in mind, from that time frame, right, when it was around 60 million momentarily in terms of market cap, to reaching over half a billion, basically, it was like, what, a little bit over a month? Like, it didn't take like 6 months to do that. I mean, again, it was just a little bit over a month. I think, first of all, that kind of indicates that within this space, things could kind of move pretty quickly, and the sentiments can change pretty fast as well, because when I was acquiring 60 million at around that range in terms of market cap for ZBCN, when it went to around 140 million, then it went like back to around 60 million. Everyone was saying, oh, ZBCN's done, this is really not good whatsoever, even though I don't think that was even altcoin season, but still, it was just kind of the sentiment overall. Then suddenly, had a pretty good rally. And then suddenly everyone was saying, oh wow, ZBCN is this, it's that, Zebec. They suddenly like the aspects of Solana, they suddenly like the aspects of payments and global trade and finance, but it was always there, you know? The fundamentals was always kind of there from the beginning, I feel like, in terms of the vibe. I mean, the fundamentals were already kind of there. It just had its moment, you know? But then the way you take a look at it, sure, as of right now, ZBCN's going down, and it could maybe go lower, but eventually there's going to be a moment where people just don't really want to sell anymore. Like, for instance, I'm not saying that I know the timing and all this because I do not know, but then at the same time, when we saw that pretty big pullback when it comes to ZBCN, even not too long ago, the market cap was around 200 million, right? Then suddenly it had a good recovery from that. As of right now, the market cap is still around that kind of $300 million range. So at around 200 million at that point, I felt like just a lot of people didn't really want to sell anymore. And when will be that moment this time around? I mean, I have no way to know that, but if ZBCN ever went below, let's say, $150 million in market cap, I would be very surprised, just considering, again, the amount of holders, because not too long ago I saw a statistic showcasing how ZBCN had over 80,000 holders and all this. If it ever went below 150 million in terms of market cap, I'd be very surprised, but who knows, only time will tell. But oftentimes, again, I like to remind myself that when it comes to Zebec, I don't know what bad thing happened to it fundamentally speaking. It allegedly is still part of the Circle Alliance program, at least from the last time I know. I've still seen how Solana Ventures, historically, it's a backer when it comes to Zebec. I've seen how something like Circle, which is the creator of USDC, the stablecoin, last time I saw, they allegedly hold a big amount of ZBCN. I also see how Zebec, when it comes to Zebec cards, it's still around, right? I take a look at how they're still focused on real-world assets, or should I say RWAs. They allegedly are still focused on AI-based PayFi, so again, fundamentally, it's kind of not become bad, actually, I think, if anything. And also, they're still actually striving towards ISO 20022 compliance. If it actually already achieved that, that'd be pretty amazing, actually. But then I feel like because they haven't, it seems like the better days seem to be ahead. You know what I mean? When it comes to something like XDC, which already has that aspect of ISO 20022, which already kind of has an established sort of following, it's already kind of a little bit done its thing. Now, granted, both XDC and as well as ZBCN, I don't think have experienced an altcoin season during this cycle, and I think there hasn't actually been an altcoin season during this cycle. Totally aware of that. But XDC, all the kind of big things that could kind of push the narrative and all this type of stuff, it's already kind of set. You know what I mean? We've already kind of seen it. When it comes to Zebec, just because it hasn't had that ISO 20022 compliance, sure, it's had SOC2, sure, it's had MICA, or should I say MICA, but it hasn't had that moment yet, right? So if, let's say, that for whatever reason the timing becomes pretty good, let's say they do get ISO 20022 compliance slightly before the start of an altcoin season or in the beginning or something like that, that could, I think, be a bigger narrative probably than like something like XDC, which granted I still do believe in, but they already kind of did that, again, when it comes to the aspects of having ISO 20022. So I still like the whole vibe overall when it comes to Zebec. And again, I get it. Sometimes you like to say, oh, no one really cares about Solana as of right now. The sentiment isn't the best. I know that. But at the same time, usually when the market does pretty okay, Solana seems to kind of go along with the ride. So seeing an aspect when it comes to Zebec of Solana, that is something I am still thinking about. I just haven't forgotten about kind of the moments and the fundamentals of Zebec. So I just don't want to give up. I get it as of right now. Things aren't looking the best. But to me, it's very simple. What I do is that literally once a month, I dollar cost average into my favorite projects. That's about it. So it doesn't really, I think, take too much for me to kind of, stress out on this. I'm not doing that, even though I'm not telling you anything. It's literally just once a month, acquire it. I don't really think about it in terms of what exactly happens. Oh, it's 5% down, it's 10%. No, I just focus on the fundamentals, and then next month, acquire. And then the next month, acquire. That's literally what I'm doing. It's just dollar cost averaging. So yeah, that's basically what I'm doing. So if I've been holding a project, let's say a year, that means dollar cost averaging 12 times, 2 years, 24 times, 3 years, 36 times. It's just basically like that, really. I mean, that's the way to take a look at it. I don't treat it as I have to try to find the perfect moment and all this type of stuff. It's just about waiting for, let's say, hypothetically, when the market does a lot better. I mean, that's about it. And I don't think I've seen an altcoin season, so I'm still waiting actually this entire time. From ZBCN at around 60 million in market cap to right now, I've been holding the entire time. I've been dollar cost averaging, again, once a month the entire time. That's literally what I've done. Now, do I try to find the perfect moment? No. Will I know the bottom? Absolutely not. To me, it's just about me believing in a project, holding and just waiting. Because sometimes you like to tell me to pull up a price chart and all this. If I pulled up a price chart and I literally started drawing triangles and stuff like that, like, I'm not going to be able to know at the bottom when it comes to ZBCN, when it comes to the altcoin space. Like, I won't be able to know that. Like, the market's literally going to care about that 0%. Like, there's not even going to be like a 0.01% that it cares about that and then suddenly it's going to follow it. No, there's just no way. So for me, if I just take a look at Zebec, I just take a look at the fundamentals, I believe in it, that's it. That's all I do, actually. And when it comes to the idea of 10 cents, again, around a 30x from here, market cap at that point, considering current circulating supply around 9.5 billion, sure, it's around a 30x from here, totally aware of that, but it doesn't seem like too much of an outlandish market cap to me. This is just my perspective. I'm totally aware that, yeah, sure, when it comes to the idea of 10 cents, it's not that easy to talk about right now, but I'm still thinking about it. I haven't forgotten about how, the Zebec cards allegedly supports many blockchains like Ethereum, BNB Smart Chain, Solana, Coinbase's layer 2, which is called the base network, and also we take a look at something like Sui, Stellar, and when I just take a look at stuff like that, I just haven't forgotten about it. During a time when the altcoin space isn't doing the best, during a time when the price isn't doing the best, what I resort to is the fundamentals, because the price going down, I have no control over that, literally. So instead of doing that, I'd rather just control myself, and I'm not telling you to do anything, but literally I'm staying patient, dollar cost averaging, holding, and that's pretty much about it. And I just take a look at the fundamentals again. If, let's say, at times when I feel like, oh, wow, take a look at the price and all this, again, I just like to remind myself about the fundamentals. And again, when the price is not doing good, what I think about is the future of the space, right? What I think about is what the space that the project is focused on, primarily speaking, what it could be. And overall, it still seems not that bad to me. It still seems kind of positive, because when I take a look at AI, when I take a look at payments, global trade finance, when I take a look at RWAs, or should I say again, real world assets, when I take a look at just kind of the whole aspects of it overall, I just haven't given up on those markets, so I don't know why I'd give up on Zebec, which is actually kind of pretty much focused on those markets that I mentioned before. So to me, I just haven't given up, and that's how I view the situation right now. Things could look a certain way right now, but who knows months later what it could be. Again, like I mentioned earlier on the video, right? At around a $60 million market cap, when it had that kind of dip before it went up not too long ago in terms of the rally, like, the sentiment at that point compared to a month after that was completely different. So this is why I just haven't given up. I'm still holding, waiting, and staying patient, and just simply waiting for a moment if, let's say, there's even altcoin season. but only time will tell. But at the meantime, it's just a patience game, for me at least. And I want to say thank you for watching. I hope you'll have a nice day. And feel free to subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I'd greatly appreciate it. It's Willie the Captain, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.